things that are statistically improbable turn up. That's why it's valuable to have an institution in the country like the Smithsonian, which has almost 30,000 skeletons. Because then things like that occur only occasionally will turn up in such a large collection. Although the one at the American Museum of Natural History is not exactly small, they have 12,000 skeletons. I think that's the second largest collection in the country. Okay. And then what is a difference found over here? Wait 1 second before you say anything. No, right over here.
It straightens out when you become
Yeah, this angle, the angle over here is about 135 degrees, whereas later on, the angle is still obtuse, but it's not that much past 90 degrees, you can see, whereas this is a lot past 90 degrees. And there isn't good mechanical advantage, for jaw muscles. So it has to swing upward like this for the jaws to have mechanical advantage. Okay. And then what's the difference right in there? The mandibular fossa in the temporal bone has barely started development. That comes later. Okay, there's hardly any mandibular fossa. So the jaw joint is not well developed at this stage. Okay. And then what's the difference over here?
You get the auditory canal.
Where?
Not auditory canal.
The external auditory.
No, remember that's over here. What I'm pointing to is over here. So if you find an external auditory canal over here, make sure that your skull is on record, for collection after your demise, because a museum will want it. What's located over here? Yeah, the anterolateral fontanelle. And then you have to know closed by when and replaced by what, which is in the osteochronology handout. Closed by when? Yeah, 3 months. Replaced by what? The pterion. Okay. And then what is a difference over here?
That's the eminence, whatever it's called?
Yeah, the parietal, I'm inclined to say eminence, but a legitimate synonym is parietal tuberosity, which is the one that the authors of the current editors of McMinn's Atlas are choosing to use. So it's much more pronounced at this stage than it is later on. Later on, it's practically not even possible to detect it just by eyeballing it. You have to run your finger over to detect there's a bump there. Here, you don't have to run your finger over to detect there's a bump there. It's obvious. Okay. Now, now this cannot be touched because it's brittle. So I'm going to point to it. What's the difference over here? This time I'm not going to touch it. Okay, go ahead.
Where are you pointing?
Right in over there. Oh, what are you looking at right in over there, for starters?
Tympanic membrane.
That's for the tympanic membrane. So what's the difference concerning it?
It's got a tympanic ring.
It's on the surface, in the old reptilian position.
Oh,
It's on the surface of the head. So if things remain the same, if they didn't change, if you put your finger over here, you'd be touching your tympanic membrane, which is not the case. Once again, if you find that is the case for you, put your case on record, because the museum will want that skull. And then as the development proceeds and the skull grows, the skull does grow laterally, but the eardrum remains in place. So what happens is that the temporal bone and the bone called the tympanic region of the temporal bone, the squamous portion, form a canal lateral to the eardrum. The eardrum stays in place, but the temporal bone grows laterally. So now it's in there, quite a ways in there. But in a reptile, it's right on the surface. If you've seen the turtles called yellow sliders or green sliders, there's a colored patch right over here. Everything's nice and nifty for viewing because the eardrum's a different color, from the rest of the skin, from the skin on the rest of the head. So that yellow patch or the red area is the eardrum. Okay. Now, of course, one of the things that makes us different from turtles is that we have all that prefrontal cortex. So we can know that that's the eardrum, but they don't know it. And there's no way that the turtle can't know that, but we can know it. And then at close range, you can see a little white bar. In the midst of the eardrum?
Malleus.
Yeah, that's the malleus. That's correct. So having the eardrum on the surface in the old reptilian position is something you still see even as late as 7 months post-conception. By the time of birth, though, there is an external auditory canal with an external acoustic meatus. Okay. Now, what is this hole over here?
Ramen magnum.
The foramen magnum. Now, what's the difference around, what are a couple of differences around the foramen magnum?
They're not fused.
Yeah, the bones are not fused. The basal occipital, which you can see right over here, and the condylar parts of the occipital and the squama are not fused. At close range, you'll see the joints between them. There's the basal occipital, the condylar regions, and the squama. You see